Lesson 7: How to Assess and Grade. Assessing and grading a music class involves evaluating students' progress and performance in various aspects of music education, including proficiency, music theory knowledge, and overall performance. Assessment criteria for a music class should align with the specific learning objectives and goals of the course and the needs and abilities of individual students. Providing clear criteria and expectations, along with constructive feedback, can help students understand how they are being evaluated and what they can do to improve their musical skills and knowledge. 3 to 6 years. Grading a music class for children aged 3 to 6 requires a different approach compared to grading older students. At this age, the focus should be on fostering a love for music, developing basic musical skills, and promoting engagement and participation in musical activities. Here are some considerations for grading a music class for young children. 1. Participation. Assess children's active participation and engagement in class activities, including singing, playing instruments, moving to music, and participating in musical games and activities. Observe how children interact with the music and respond to instructions and prompts from the teacher. 2. Behavior. Evaluate children's behavior and cooperation during class, including following instructions, taking turns, listening attentively, and cooperating with peers. Consider how well children demonstrate social skills and respect for others in the musical environment. 3. Musical creativity. Assess children's exploration and creativity in music making activities such as improvisation, creative movement, and playing simple instruments. Look for signs of experimentation, expression, and enjoyment as children explore different sounds and musical ideas. 4. Basic music skills. Evaluate children's development of basic music skills such as singing in tune, keeping a steady beat, and responding to musical cues. Notice improvements over time in areas like rhythm, pitch, and coordination as children gain confidence and experience. 5. Movement and coordination. Assess children's movement and coordination in response to music, including gross motor skills like dancing and fine motor skills like clapping hands. Notice how children move their bodies in relation to the music and how well they coordinate their movements with others. 6. Listening skills. Evaluate children's listening skills and ability to focus and attend to music, including their ability to distinguish between different sounds, follow musical cues, and respond appropriately to changes in tempo, dynamics, and mood. 7. Expression. Assess children's use of expression in musical activities such as storytelling through music, creative movement, and dramatic play. Notice how children express themselves through music and how they interpret and respond to different musical stimuli. 8. Parent involvement. Consider the level of parent involvement and support in the child's musical development, including attendance at class, participation in at-home activities, and reinforcement of musical concepts and skills outside of class. 7 to 12 years. Evaluating a music class for 7 to 12-year-olds involves assessing various aspects of their musical development, participation, and engagement. Here's a guide to help you effectively evaluate a music class for this age group. 1. Learning objectives. Begin by reviewing the learning objectives of the music class. These objectives may include developing musical skills, understanding music theory concepts, exploring different musical styles, and fostering creativity. 2. Observational. Observe students during class activities, rehearsals, and performances to gauge their participation, engagement, and musical progress. Take note of their ability to follow instructions, collaborate with peers, and demonstrate musical techniques. 3. Performance. Provide opportunities for students to showcase their musical skills through performances. Evaluate their technical proficiency, musical expression, stage presence, and ability to work together as a group if applicable. Consider using rubrics or checklists to assess specific criteria. 4. Written assessments. Assess students' understanding of music theory, notation, terminology, and music history through written assessments, quizzes, or exams. Tailor the assessments to their age and developmental stage and provide feedback to support their learning. 5. Listening and analysis. Incorporate listening exercises where students analyze and respond to different styles of music, musical elements, and performances. Assess their listening comprehension, critical thinking skills, and ability to articulate their musical observations. 6. Creative projects. Assign creative projects that allow students to demonstrate their understanding of musical concepts in a hands on way. This could include composing their own music, writing song lyrics, creating musical arrangements, or designing instruments. 7. Peer assessment. Encourage students to provide constructive feedback to their peers during rehearsals, performances, and group activities. Peer assessment promotes collaboration, communication skills, and a deeper understanding of musical concepts. 8. Self assessment and reflection. Provide opportunities for students to reflect on their own musical progress, strengths, and areas for improvement. Encourage them to set goals for their musical development and track their progress over time. 9. Participation. Assess students' participation in class activities, discussions, and rehearsals. Consider factors such as attendance, preparation, contribution to group activities, and enthusiasm for learning. 10. Feedback and evaluation. Provide timely and specific feedback to students on their performances, assignments, and projects. Focus on both strengths and areas for improvement and offer guidance for further development. 11. Student progress tracking. Keep records of students' progress over time, including assessments, feedback, and observations. Use this information to track their growth and tailor instruction to meet their individual needs. 12. Parent communication. Communicate with parents or guardians about their child's progress in the music class. Provide updates on assessments, achievements, and areas for improvement, and encourage parental support and involvement in their child's musical development. By implementing these evaluation strategies, you can effectively assess a music class for 7 to 12-year-olds, providing valuable feedback and support for their musical growth and development. Adjust your approach as needed to meet the specific needs and goals of your students and your teaching context. (13 to 17 years). Assessing a music class for 13 to 17-year-olds requires a balance of formal assessments, performance evaluations, and opportunities for self-reflection. Here is a tailored approach to assessing a music class for this age group. 1. Performance assessments. Provide opportunities for students to perform solo pieces on their chosen instrument or voice. Assess their technical proficiency, musical expression, stage presence, and interpretation. Also, evaluate their ability to collaborate with peers in ensemble performances. Consider factors such as teamwork, communication, and synchronization with other musicians. 2. Skill development. Assess students' progress in developing instrumental or vocal techniques through exercises and scales. Evaluate students' understanding of music theory concepts, notation, and terminology through quizzes, written assignments, or exams. 3. Creative projects. Assign composition projects where students create their own music. Evaluate their creativity, originality, and ability to apply music theory concepts. Assess students' skills in arranging existing pieces of music for different instruments or voices. 4. Listening and analysis. Assign listening exercises where students analyze and critique recordings of various musical genres and styles. Evaluate their ability to identify musical elements, interpret musical structures, and express their opinions. Task students with analyzing and writing about specific pieces of music in terms of form, harmony, melody, rhythm, and historical context. 5. Written assessments. Assess students' knowledge of music history, major composers, and significant musical movements through written assignments or exams. Test their understanding of advanced music theory concepts such as harmony, counterpoint, and advanced rhythmic patterns. 6. Self-assessment and reflection. Encourage students to keep reflection journals where they document their musical progress, set goals, and reflect on their learning experiences. Ask them to evaluate their own performances, compositions, and progress in developing musical skills. Provide guidance on constructive self assessment techniques. 7. Peer assessment. Facilitate peer feedback sessions where students provide constructive criticism to each other on performances, compositions, or projects. Encourage respectful and supportive communication. 8. Participation and engagement. Evaluate students' participation in class activities, rehearsals, discussions, and group projects. Consider factors such as attendance, preparation, engagement, and contribution to group activities. 9. Feedback and evaluation. Provide timely and constructive feedback to students on their performances, assignments, and projects. Focus on both strengths and areas for improvement and offer guidance for further development. Schedule individual conferences with students to discuss their progress, goals, and any concerns they may have about their musical development. By implementing these assessment strategies, you can effectively evaluate a music class for 13 to 17-year-olds, supporting their musical growth and development while providing valuable feedback to guide their learning. Adjust your approach as needed to meet the specific needs and interests of your students and your teaching context. Adults. Assessing a music class for adults involves recognizing their diverse backgrounds, goals, and levels of experience. It also involves assessing their progress, participation, and achievement in various aspects of musical learning. Here's an approach to evaluating a music class for adults. 1. Learning objectives. Define the learning objectives for the class, considering the skills, knowledge, and abilities you want students to develop by the end of the course. These objectives may be technical skills, music theory knowledge, performance abilities, creativity, and musical expression. 2. Grading categories. Determine the weighting for each assessment category based on its importance in achieving the learning objectives of the class. Common grading categories for a music class are performance, skill development, music theory, creativity, participation, and attendance. 3. Performance assessments. Evaluate students' solo performances based on technical proficiency, musical expression, stage presence, and interpretation. Also, assess their ability to collaborate with peers in ensemble performances, considering factors such as teamwork, communication, and synchronization with other musicians. 4. Skill development. Grade students' progress in developing instrumental or vocal techniques through exercises, scales, and repertoire. Assess their improvement over time based on performance evaluations and teacher observations, and evaluate their understanding of music theory concepts through quizzes and written assignments. 5. Creative projects. Grade students' creative projects based on creativity, originality, musicality, and adherence to assignment guidelines. Provide feedback on their compositions or arrangements to support their development as composers. 6. Listening and analysis. Assess students' ability to analyze and critique recordings of various music genres and styles. Grade their written analysis based on their understanding of musical elements, interpretation, and critical thinking skills. 7. Participation. Grade students' participation in class activities, rehearsals, discussions, and group projects. Consider factors such as attendance, preparation, engagement, contribution to discussions, and willingness to collaborate with peers. 8. Attendance and punctuality. Incorporate attendance and punctuality into the overall assessment of student performance. Deduct points for unexcused absences or tardiness, as consistent attendance is crucial for progress in a music class. 9. Feedback and evaluation. Provide timely and constructive feedback to students on their performances, assignments, and projects. Offer specific praise for strengths and suggestions for improvement. Schedule individual conferences with students to discuss their progress, goals, and any concerns they may have about their musical development. 10. Communication. Communicate grading criteria, expectations, and grading policies clearly to students at the beginning of the course. Ensure transparency in how grades will be calculated and how assessments will be conducted. Keep students informed of their progress throughout the course, providing regular updates on grades and feedback on assignments. By implementing these grading strategies, you can effectively assess a music class for adults, providing valuable feedback and support for their musical growth and development. Adjust your approach as needed to meet the specific needs and interests of your students and your teaching context.